Hello, my name's Ress-Liere, and today I'll be presenting why boarding passes are a sky-high failure in design. So first, it's important to note, what do I need from my boarding pass? What do I need to do? So we need boarding passes to tell the customer where they're going, grant access to the portion of the airport they need to be going in, and grant access to board the plane. So, the customer needs to know where they're going and they need to be let in. So this is, as you can see on the right, there's an old version of a border pass, and you can see the design hasn't updated too much from that time. So I look at this, um, and this is a boarding pass. Very confusing, very cluttered. So I'm looking at this boarding pass, and I can't find what I need to find at all. It's incredibly cluttered. I'm looking for maybe when my flight is. I can't even find the time. I gotta look for line by line. Not very good at all. The text is also incredibly small. So for older users and younger users, this is gonna be very hard to see what I have to do. So it's not even a searching game anymore. It's more of a I can't even see what I need to be seeing right now. And especially when you're rushing for a plane, it is very hard to find something with small text. Additionally, it's inconsistent in the way the information is displayed. So important information you would expect to be bolded or, in large text. Um, but there's no consistency in that throughout here. So like if you look at the seat number, which is 15F, right? That's important. When I get on the plane, I need to know what seat I'm going to. But it's also important what gate that plane is at. And as you can see below, that's in much smaller text and a much harder, to see. These two things should be associated in some sense, but they're not, which makes this very inconsistent in the design. Additionally, in the terms of lack of consistency, it's across multiple boarding passes from different companies. Everything's organized in a different way, all equally is cluttered and hard to see, and so there's lack of consistency. So I can't even, as a user, go, oh, it was on this boarding pass a certain way, so this is where it's going to be. No, because if I'm taking a different airline, it's going to be different and very hard for me to tell where I have to go. Now, let's look at the usability principles and how they relate to this. Now, consistency, as we just discussed, they're not consistent between boarding passes, and even on the pass itself, there's lack of consistency in what I'm looking for, so that's in no way. Now, is the user in control? No, not really, because I'm looking around this pass, I have no idea where I have to find things. I don't have any way of organizing it, maybe some sort of organization that's going to keep me able to draw my eyes to where I need to be. Now, minimum steps. Clearly, I'm going to have to look line by line by line. There's no quick way for me to look at this boarding pass and see what I have to see. So there's going to be maximum steps, if anything. Or unless I get lucky and find what I need to find just by chance. So that is not the case. Users should know where they are. Well, on the pass, I feel it's cluttered, of course. Now, even in a physical sense, the user's not going to even know where they want to go in the airport. That's how confusing these passes are. Not very clear where we have to go. Now, in terms of obtuse language, I actually have to say they did a decent job. Flight, date, class, origin, all that stuff easily understood by, a user. It's nothing complicated and out of the bounds. Is it aesthetically appropriate? It doesn't, it doesn't. I could look at this and think it's a Metro Pass too, or possibly, if how cluttered it is and stuff. It's hard to see what's the important information is. So how am I gonna know if, is this appropriate? Is there any plain symbols? Not really. So I don't know. So there is not very appropriate. Present new information with meaningful aids. There is no meaningful aids. There is incredibly small text, which is supposed to aid me to realize what this is, and so that is clearly not the case. Now, this is the revision of the design, which I think will increase the user experience dramatically. So, if you look at this, it's clear as we read left to right, it's an importance. So when I first get into the airport, I need to know what my flight number is, my destination is, and what terminal I need to go to. So what section of the airport do I go to? Okay, so I first get into the airport, I see this on the left side, I'm good. I read left to right. So then I keep going right after I finish that once I get through that area, oh, this is when I need to get on my plane. This is the gate, so exactly where the plane is, and then the priority. So I know exactly how long I have to wait when I get there to get on my plane. Additionally, the seat will be here, so you know what seat is, and the plane graphic pointing exactly where on the plane is. Because if you look at the previous slide, 15F, we don't know where that is on a plane. That could be anywhere for us who are not associated with planes very well. And this is the little rip-off piece with the same information, so you know the seat and where on the plane you have to go. So you may have realized I haven't noticed the top and the bottom. That's because these aren't important to the user particularly. This is more for the administration. So if the barcodes on the bottom are going to be for, the flight attendants, they need to scan that. Not very important for the user. And then on the top, Airport name, it has to be there, but not very important. Customer name, you know your own name. You know what date you're flying. You're there. And so in conclusion, this is how I would change it. And it's a shame that something so used as airports don't have the optimal ways to look at and view the information. And I think these are some great revisions. And I want to thank you for your time. Have a good day.